Before we dive into the latest Giants news, I just want to ask this question off the top of the show. Who do you want to be the Giants starting quarterback for the remainder of the season? Is it Tyrod Taylor or Tommy DeVito? Let me know what you think down in the comments section. Yo, what's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. And we got some early news this morning as veteran quarterback Tyrod Taylor has been activated off of IR. He's missed the last 4 games due to a rib injury, and he is starting his 21-day practice window. And it sounds like he's going to be ready to go this Sunday. So in today's video, we're going to break down the idea of who the starting quarterback should be. So we asked you at the top of the show. Hope you got your votes in. To be honest with you, I think that Brian Daboll is going to roll with the veteran, the guy that he has a relationship for multiple years. I think Tyrod Taylor is going to start this Monday night against the Green Bay Packers. Is that the right decision? I do not know. Let's just look at both these guys head to head. Tyrod as a starter this year is 1-2. He did have you 1 inch away from beating the Buffalo Bills on the road. But he didn't. He didn't win, so it doesn't count. He's 1-2. He's completed 65.5% of his passes so far this year, has 2 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. Then you look at Tommy DeVito, who has started in 3 games, losing his first start against the Dallas Cowboys, but he's rattled off 2 wins in a row. He's completing just 63% of his passes compared to 65.5% for Tyrod, 697 passing yards for DeVito. And when you look at the touchdown comparison, DeVito has more than 3 times the amount of passing touchdowns that Tyrod has. He also has a rushing touchdown, but he's thrown 3 more interceptions than Taylor has. I will just say this, and I want to get this out there. Tommy DeVito deserves a lot of credit for what he has done in the last 2 weeks. Look, I'm not saying he's a franchise quarterback. I'm not saying he's a guy that's ever going to be that in this league. I'm also not saying that. But what I am saying is he came into a situation where he wasn't expected to be good. He wasn't expected to win games. And after that Raiders game when he came in there and they lost 30-6 to Aiden O'Connell, then they got their butts whipped by the Dallas Cowboys. Pulled off 2 good wins against the Commanders and the Patriots. Say what you want about those teams. And I'll tell you this much. Brian Daboll, John Mara, and Joe Schoen, they want to win football games. This organization does not believe in losing football games. They want to win games. And the question then becomes, which quarterback gives you a better chance to win games? And I think it's Tyrod Taylor. I'm going to just say it. Tyrod Taylor is a better quarterback than Tommy DeVito. I know that DeVito's fun and the gabagoo and all of this, and everybody loves him. But Tyrod is just better. He's more accomplished. He's more experienced. He's started 50 more games than DeVito has. And when you saw the offense clicking, in my opinion, at really a pretty good level this year, Tyrod Taylor was the one throwing the ball from the pocket. And it's hard to bench a quarterback after 2 straight wins, especially for a team that was pretty much projected to be a top 5 pick. Now the Giants are slotted to pick 7th in the NFL draft. Everyone was out on the Giants. Everyone was down. The locker room was out. And then here came Tommy DeVito, just oozing confidence, bringing swag to this team. This locker room loves Tommy DeVito. You see everyone on Twitter and everyone on Instagram doing the DeVito emoji. Jihad Ward is tweeting. I've seen Xavier McKinney comment on DeVito's pictures. Everyone loves what he is doing. But at the end of the day, it's about winning football games. And the Giants, they want to win football games. That gives more credibility to Joe Schoen. It helps the job security of Brian Daboll. They want to win games. I think they're going to roll with Tyrod Taylor. I think Tyrod gives you the better chance to win. I think that Daboll has a little bit of a soft spot for Tyrod Taylor. Look, I know this. Once a starter is named for this week's game against the Green Bay Packers on Monday night, we are going to make a video as soon as possible. So make sure you're subscribed and have your notifications turned on so you know who will be under center for Big Blue this Monday night. Subscribe, turn your notifications on, and lock us in. Coming up next, we have more injury news. We talked about Tyrod being elevated off of IR. Darren Waller is now eligible to return off IR. We've got an update from Jordan Rennand of ESPN of when that return may take place. We'll dive into that in a second. But first, I got to give a huge shout out to today's sponsor, Game Time. If you're looking to get tickets to a sporting event, a concert, a movie, or anything, download the Game Time app. Go into the App Store, download the Game Time app, and when you use the promo code Giants Chat, you're going to get $20 off. $20 off your first purchase. You get the best seats for the lowest prices guaranteed. What I like is prices drop as the event gets closer. I don't want to say I'm a procrastinator, but I like to put some things off until I absolutely have to make the decision. And I've been looking at some Giants games, maybe get my parents or some siblings some Christmas tickets, and I'm waiting till the absolute last moment. And you could do that with Game Time. They got flash deals, best prices guaranteed. What I enjoy the most is when you're going to look at tickets, you get to see the venue from the seat that you want to buy the ticket for. Concerts, Giants, Knicks, and more. Download the Game Time app and just make sure to use the promo code GiantsChat and you get $20 off. I use Game Time all of the time, and I always feel good about myself when I do. I'll put all that information in the comments and description of today's video. Alrighty, Darren Waller, will he return this week? We do not know yet. He has missed the last 4 games. He is eligible to return off IR, but will it happen? I'll say this first. I want to see Darren Waller play. Look, you traded a 3rd-round pick for this guy. I know it was pick number 100, a compensatory 3rd-round pick. And I know the numbers, we'll show the numbers of Darren Waller in a second, probably leaves a little bit more to be desired. But overall, this offense is bad. We know that. Bottom of the league in a lot of statistical categories. So that's going to be reflected in players' statistics. But I liked the way that Waller was being used. I liked the way he changed kind of how defensive kind of played the Giants. I want to see him play. I want to see him out there. Will it be this week? Not sure. Jordan Renard of ESPN said, not quite yet for Waller. He was asked on Twitter after he tweeted about Tyrod Taylor being back. He said, not quite yet, but he doesn't believe he's too far off, which tells me Waller will return at some point this season. In the limited action he saw before he hurt that hamstring, he had 36 grabs for almost 400 yards, averaging nearly 11 yards per catch, and had that lone touchdown against, I believe it was the Jets on that little seam route. I just want to see him out there. I want to see this offense as close to as healthy as possible, because I feel like, and I'm probably sure you feel like this as well, we were robbed of seeing this Giants offense healthy. First drive of the game, Andrew Thomas hurts his hamstring. Then you get a win against Arizona, but on that last drive against Arizona, Saquon Barkley gets hurt. Then Daniel Jones got hurt. Then Darren Waller got hurt. Then Tyrod Taylor got hurt. I just want to see my New York Football Giants go out and play football as healthy as they possibly can be, and let's just have some fun as the season does wind down. Let's show Darren Waller some love, man. Hamstring injuries are tricky to play through, tricky to rehab. And I just appreciate him trying to do everything he can to come back, because he easily could have hung it up for the rest of the season. But he's working hard, he's rehabbing, and he's trying to get back out there and put on that Giants blue. Type those 12s down in the comment section. I just want to wrap up today's video taking a look at the remaining schedule for the Giants, the draft order, and the playoff picture, because it's pretty crazy. Somehow the Giants are only just a couple games out of the wild card, and they're just a couple games out of a top 5 pick. It's absolutely incredible. I will say this. We showed this schedule last week, and I felt a little bit more confident about the Giants winning some games. Then the Packers looked really good against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Rams looked good. And now you're going to get a pissed-off Eagles team that I'm not so sure will have the division wrapped up by Week 18 to where they can rest their starters. So here's the remaining games, and here's what the NFC playoff picture looks like. You still got the Eagles, the Niners, the Lions, and the Falcons, and the Cowboys in. And then you got a couple of teams tied at 6-6, all battling for those last 2 wild card spots. That include the Green Bay Packers, the Minnesota Vikings, the Los Angeles Rams, and the Seattle Seahawks. Then you got teams like Tampa Bay and New Orleans right there. The Giants and I can't believe the Giants are actually in this graphic. The Giants and the Bears sitting at 4-8, Washington at 4-9, Arizona at 3-10. The only team that has been eliminated in the NFC is the Carolina Panthers. So I am saying there is at least a chance the Giants could get it done. I also want to take a look at the current 2024 NFL draft order. Coming into the week, the Giants were supposed to be picking number 6, but now they're down to number 7. You got the Bears picking number 1 overall via the Carolina Panthers, New England, and Bill Belichick sitting at that 2 spot. Kyler Murray has won a couple of games since he's come back. I think he will continue to do that. Washington sitting at 4. The Bears round out the top 5. You got both New York teams picking at 6 and 7. And the Titans with the same record at the Giants at 8, New Orleans at 9, and Tampa Bay at 10. I want to ask this question before we bounce on out of here. What is more likely for the Giants? Is it a top 5 pick or them make it to playoffs? I think there's only one right answer here. I'll let you decide. Type 5 for top 5 pick or P if you think they're going to make the playoffs. As always, I just want to say thank you guys. I appreciate you for stopping by and rolling with us for a couple of minutes. We're going to be live on the channel in a couple of hours, breaking everything down that came out over the weekend. Ryan Dunleavy reported that the Giants are expected to move on from Wink Martindale, Mike Kafka, and Thomas McGahee in the offseason. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. So lock us in, hit that sub button, and turn your notifications on.